This video demonstration will provide nursing with a refresher on how to enter home medications onto your patient's chart. So a few things I want to review before going through the steps of this process is that when you're adding in home medications, this needs to be a comprehensive list of medications that patient takes. So this includes all their prescription meds, any kind of over-the-counter medications. That might include patches, pumps, any kind of supplements, vitamins, contraceptives, all of that needs to be included. With that, there does come some challenges with gathering home medications and updated lists from patients. So patients may not arrive with the list. They may not know what they're taking. So you do have to utilize your resources under those circumstances, whether that be calling a pharmacy, a nursing home, family doctor, clinic, next of kin, family member, to get the best list that you can to enter into the patient's chart. So when you're doing that, however, you do want to make sure that you are confirming those meds with the patient or their guardian or next of kin based off the list that you do obtain. So you don't want to just enter medications based off of the list itself. You do want to confirm that it's all accurate and up to date as you're entering those into the patient's chart. So looking here on the tracking board, if I scroll over to the events column, I'm noticing that I have these pill icons in the events column. These indicate that the home meds have not yet been documented. So that's a good visual reminder in that events column for you. So I'm going to click on the patient here and go up to this medication list icon in the toolbar, and I'll be taken to this screen here, which I'm going to then choose document medication by history. So this patient has had no meds entered, so maybe they're new to the hospital. So I'm going to have to start from scratch. So either the patient's verbalizing these meds and dosages to me, or I'm pulling medication information from a list and confirming the list with the patient as I'm entering them into the profile. So you will see here on this information bar that the status says medication history has not yet been documented. Once I put that in, that'll change. You'll see a green check mark, and it will indicate the date and time and person who did enter those home meds. If the patient has no known medications, you just simply choose this option here, and then you would document history and then sign. If you're unable to obtain information, you do have that option here as well. And then there is an option for saving your work and coming back and completing it later, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and add medications into this patient's profile. So I'm just going to type in the first few letters, and I'm going to choose just the medication name. I'm not going to choose any of these options that have a sentence attached to it, and the reason being is if we need to make modifications to this medication in the future, I would have to completely delete the entire sentence and re-add all the information in. So by choosing this single medication, I can go in and put the details in and make modifications, which just helps with efficiency and making it less steps in the process for you. So for this order sentence, just choose none for now. I'm going to put in a couple more meds. So for pantoprazole, I'm going to just choose this one here. Again, choose none. I'm going to add in metformin. And this patient takes warfarin, but they take 2 different doses on different days of the week. So I do need to add that in as 2 separate entries here. We're also going to say this patient takes another medication, but they are unsure of the name. So we can free text medications in here as well. So if you type in free and then choose free text home med generic name, click on that, and then we'll look at that in just a second as well. Okay, so I'm going to choose done because I've gotten all the medications added in so far. Now I need to put the details. So I'm going to click on this first one. We'll do lisinopril. And you'll see this information screen pop up. So this screen is shared with the discharge prescription screen. So you will see additional information in here. For example, DEA information, dispense information. That does not apply to entering home medications. So what we need to add in for home medication purposes is the dose, the route, the frequency, and the compliance. So status, still taking as prescribed. I'll let you see all the other options there as well. So just choose accordingly. And then information source, again, you have several options in the drop down. And then the last time they took the medication. So lisinopril is done. I'm going to move on to metformin. Put that information. Now, if I wanted to change the route, you do have additional options here in this drop down. Okay, so this miscellaneous prescription, we'll say this patient takes a medication for dizziness, but they're not sure the name of that medication. So on the dose part, you're just going to click on See Instructions. It's going to gray everything out. And under the special instructions, patient states that he takes a blue pill for dizziness. Okay, so that's all the information we have for that one. So you did at least enter it and you have the details in the instructions. So for the warfarin, we're going to say this patient takes 2.5 milligrams on certain days of the week. So I'm going to say PO here. And then for frequency, I'm going to say see instructions. And I'm going to update that. Okay, so those details are in. I can put in the compliance. And then for this other dose of warfarin, I will put the details in for that one as well. Okay, so those details are all in now. And again, I have confirmed all of this with the patient. I haven't just referenced the list and copied it all into the computer. I have gone through and confirmed all of these with the patient or their next of kin, guardian, whoever that might be. Once that's complete, I can now go down here to document history. Here's that option I was mentioning earlier, leave history incomplete, finish later. So let's say you get pulled away for whatever reason. You can click on that and then come back and make your updates to complete the medication history at a later time. So I'm going to go ahead and choose document history, and then you'll be taken to this screen here. You do need to sign. Okay, so those meds are in, and the pill icon has fallen off of the events column. If I needed to go back in to make an update or add another medication, I can just go back into the medication list, go to document medication by history, and here's all the meds I just entered with all of the details. You can see here I've got a green check mark now, and it shows the last time it was documented and the time I did that. Let's say the patient says they made a mistake and they told us the wrong medication. So I can just simply delete this here if that's the case. I'm just going to choose any of these here just for the purposes of demonstration. And then we can say the pantoprazole was, they gave us the wrong dose. I can just right-click, modify, and then update that to reflect the correct dosages. Okay, so once I've made those edits, I can now document history again and then sign. And those changes will be updated on the patient's chart. Okay, moving on to this patient here. So I'm going to go ahead to my pill icon, document meds by history. And this patient has medications already entered from a previous visit. So I do need to go through and confirm each one of these and assure that they are updated. Maybe I need to add additional meds that they're taking since their last visit as well. So I'm going to go through and just say, are you taking this medication? Is it still the 7.5 milligrams? Are you still taking it by mouth daily? They might have some changes for that, so I can double click and get my information box here. Maybe this dose has been increased to 15, so I can make that change here and then note the compliance. Okay, we'll say there's no changes with this warfarin. It's still the 2.5 milligrams by mouth daily. So I can just pull up the details. And I don't need to make any changes to any of this, but I do need to say the last time they took the medication. So I will put that in there on that one. We're going to say they're no longer taking this nystatin, so I can go ahead and delete it. Let's see. We'll just say no reason given for today. Then pantoprazole, we'll say that's still accurate. So I just need to go in and say the last time the patient took it. And we'll say they're no longer taking the aspirin, so I can just delete that. Okay, so I have made all my updates on this list, and we're going to go ahead and add another one in. So we'll say they've been, they added atorvastatin since they were last here. So I'm going to add this. And that's all set. So I can now document history. And then just remember to hit your check mark to sign your documentation. Once again, the pill icon has dropped off. Okay, so this patient here, I'm going to go ahead and put meds in on this one. Same process, but we're going to say this patient does not take any meds, so you just simply choose no known home meds, and you document history, and then you sign. So those are the steps for adding in your home medications. If you have any questions, please reach out, and thank you for watching this demonstration.